Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the absolute most fascinating and, frankly, complex situations unfolding on the global map right now. We're going to explore the stunning contrast right at the heart of the Great Nicobar Island project. See, on one hand, you've got this unprecedented wave of modern infrastructure being proposed, and on the other, an ancient, globally recognized ecosystem. It's literally a story of sky-high ambition meeting completely untouched nature, and the stakes? Well, they couldn't be higher. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. A mega project emerges. Okay, let's dive into this.
So, to really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what's being proposed here, we have to ask a massive question. What does it actually take to rival a global powerhouse like Singapore? Well, India is answering that question with a seriously profound level of ambition. The ultimate goal? To position the nation as a dominant, totally unparalleled regional maritime hub. They aren't just looking to casually participate in global shipping. No, they're looking to command it.
This immense ambition takes the form of something officially called the Holistic Development of Great Nicobar Island Project. And let me be clear, this isn't just some small infrastructure upgrade, not even close. We're talking about a massive, multi-crore plan designed from the ground up to fundamentally transform the island's infrastructure and honestly, drastically alter its role on the world stage.
To actually pull this off, the project relies on four massive pillars of modern development. First up, a mega transshipment port specifically located at Galathea Bay, built to handle colossal global shipping traffic. Second, a brand new airport to connect the island to the skies. Third, a dedicated power plant, because you need a ton of energy to fuel all this new infrastructure. And finally, a sprawling township to house the people who are going to run the whole shebang. These four components, they form the absolute foundation of this modern mega project.
Section 2. Location, location, location. Now, what's really interesting about this next part is, why choose this specific, incredibly remote island for such a massive multi-crore undertaking? Well, it all comes down to geography. I want you to picture a map of India in your mind right now. Got it? Okay, now look far, far to the southeast, right across the Bay of Bengal. Great Nicobar is the largest and the southernmost island of the entire Nicobar group. It sits completely separated from the Andaman Islands to the north by a body of water known as the 10-degree channel. And here's a number that might just completely change your perspective on India's borders: 150. See, Great Nicobar is home to Indira Point, which is India's absolute southernmost point. But get this, that point is actually located less than 150 kilometers away from the country of Indonesia. Crazy, right? So, geographically speaking, the island is actually closer to Sumatra, Indonesia, than it is to mainland India. This fact alone beautifully emphasizes both the deep remoteness and the incredibly strategic location of the island. It literally sits right on the edge of some of the most critical maritime routes in the entire world.
Let's ground ourselves in the physical reality of this place for a second. If you were to step onto the island today, you'd find a really varied landscape. The highest peak towering over the island is Mount Thulier. And carving right through that terrain are three major rivers that sustain the whole ecosystem: the Galathea, the Alexandra, and the Dagmar. It's an incredibly geographically rich environment.
Section 3. The indigenous inhabitants. Let's shift gears a bit.
As we shift our focus from all this industrial maritime ambition to the untouched reality of the island exactly as it exists today, a stark picture really starts to emerge, and the numbers clearly show it. The island remains incredibly sparsely populated by humans. Why? Largely because dense tropical rainforests cover more than 85% of its entire area. It's just a vast, sweeping canopy of wild green wilderness.
Now, within this remote jungle, humanity does exist, but in a deeply, deeply traditional way. The island is the ancient home to its major indigenous inhabitants, the Shompens and the Nicobarese tribes. These communities have lived in harmony with this specific isolated landscape for generations, tucked away deep within that 85% forest cover.
Section 4. A biodiversity hotspot. This is where things get truly awe-inspiring.
Because when you step into that 85% rainforest, you aren't just walking into any old forest. You're stepping into a globally recognized natural vault. The island is actually home to the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve, which is a UNESCO-designated site. That prestigious status tells you right off the bat that the international scientific community views the ecological treasures hidden within this forest as absolutely vital.
Furthermore, it's officially part of the Sunderland Biodiversity Hotspot. This is recognized by the World Conservation Union, or the IUCN.
They classify it as a region of exceptional species endemism. Now, what exactly does endemism mean? It simply means that this specific tract of land fosters life, plants and animals, that are found absolutely nowhere else on planet Earth. Nowhere.
And beyond the specific animals and plants, the forest itself is doing some heavy lifting for the entire planet. The island's tropical rainforests are highly carbon-dense ecosystems. They store immense carbon stocks right within their biomass. This means the preservation of this specific island is actually vital for global climate regulation. It's basically a giant natural vault, keeping carbon out of our atmosphere.
If we look closely at the plant life, the flora diversity is just staggering. It houses a vast array of angiosperms, gymnosperms, ferns, bryophytes, and lichens. But the true treasures? Those are the rare and endemic species. We're talking about plants like the Cyathea albicetacea, which is this incredibly rare tree fern, or the Phalaenopsis speciosa, a stunning endemic orchid. The plant life here is just off the charts.
And thriving within all that lush flora is a roster of spectacular, often fragile wildlife. We're talking about endemic and endangered creatures like the crab-eating macaque and the Nicobar tree shrew. Out in the waters and shores, you'll find the dugong, the Nicobar megapod, and marine turtles. Look up and you might spot a serpent eagle. Look down and you're sharing the space with saltwater crocodiles and the reticulated python. It's a delicate, completely irreplaceable web of life.
Section 5. The ultimate balancing act. So, the crucial point is, how exactly do these two realities intersect? We've just walked through the incredible scale of human engineering being proposed, and we've explored the ancient, fragile ecosystem that currently claims the land. Put them side by side, and the duality is just striking. In one hand, you have a holistic development plan featuring a mega transshipment port and power plant to create a global maritime hub. In the other hand, you have a UNESCO biosphere comprised of 85% dense rainforest, indigenous tribes, completely unique endemic species, and a vital carbon sink.
And that brings us to the ultimate question at the heart of this explainer. As we look at these aggressive blueprints for the future, alongside the reality of this ancient present, we really have to ask, can a multi-crore maritime hub truly coexist with an irreplaceable ancient ecosystem? It is a profound challenge of geography, economics, and ecology, playing out right there on the southern edge of the map. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this helps you clearly visualize the complex reality of Great Nicobar Island.